Hi, I'm Arden Kaywin. We have all experienced the frustration of not being able to get to the end of the phrase without running out of breath. And I don't care what genre you sing, if you are a pop singer or a musical theater singer or an opera singer, that is something that we have all had to deal with. The thing is that most people don't realize it's usually not what's happening in that long phrase that's the problem. It's usually something that's gone wrong with the breath or the support way before that phrase happens, much earlier in the song. In today's video, I'm working with a young soprano, an opera singer, who's having trouble making it to the end of a long, high phrase. Now, for you pop singers and musical theater singers out there who heard me say opera singer, don't turn off the video now, because these same issues that she's having trouble with apply to you too. They are independent of genre. So keep watching as I explain how she can get to the end of the phrase and what's happening earlier on in the song that's affecting her ability to get to the end of that long, high phrase without running out of breath. So here's my young soprano before. And here she is after we've worked. So how'd we get there? The problem was not what she was doing in the actual phrase where she was running out of breath. The problem was how she was approaching her inhales bars earlier that was sabotaging her ability to sustain her breath and support through the end of that long phrase once she got there. She was breathing in a very high, grabby manner, breaths that kind of sounded like, she wasn't releasing into the breath. She wasn't also in the present moment of the song, which was why those breaths were starting to get high and grabby. She was already future tripping into that future of that long phrase that's always giving her problems. So by bringing her back to the present moment, by getting her out of the future tripping and getting her present to what's happening earlier in the song, we start to see some improvement.
So what was really interesting was that I noticed that your breath was, and your support was really good through most of it. And then about 2/3 of the way through, I started to feel like her energy and her breath was coming up here. And there was a lot of this kind of breath. And about 4 bars later was that high note section. So she was already in her head about that high note 4 bars earlier, and the fear was causing her to tense, and so her breaths were higher. She wasn't able to get enough air. She was also singing from here up at that point and not really able to access this. So she created the very thing that she was terrified of happening in the first place, because she had an expectation that it's hard and scary and was not in the present moment of what she was singing those 4 bars before. She was future tripping, what I call future tripping. She was totally stressing out about what was 60 seconds away instead of being where she was. And so it caused her body to have a natural fear reaction, which then prevented her from the most effective use of her support. Okay, so what note is that? The high note there, was it B? A. Okay. I'm sure you sing A's all the time. Is A a hard note for you? No, it's not. And I get that it's actually not. But because you have psyched yourself out, all of a sudden it becomes what you fear. Okay. So there's a famous quote by Henry Ford, the car maker, that I love. Henry Ford
So I take her back a good 16 bars in the song because I want her to be really present to what her body is doing in those breaths that's making it really difficult for her to sustain the long phrase later when she gets there.
Did you hear that? She's like, the pitch is already starting to rise, the melody's already starting to go there, and you already are fearful of it, right? So, I want you to do the breaths out of tempo, so give her as much time as she wants. La, 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 la. Take your time. For now, he'll wait.
Her breaths are still high and tense and grabby, which doesn't bring in as much air as a peaceful, open, released breath. She's rushing the breath to try to pull air in, and I want her to slow down and give her body time to release to allow the air to come in. That sounded so beautiful. But see, now I know she's in that really great released open breath place. I don't actually think she needs to breathe in the middle of that last part of the phrase in the last part of the verse anymore. So I'm going to ask her to do it again and bring more sensation of that released breath to the latter part of the verse so that that final phrase does not need to be broken up by a breath and she can get through it all in one breath.
Okay, I want you to see if you can feel the same kind of release in the moment, not thinking about the future, breath, before you do that other one.
Yes, she did it. Not only did she not run out of breath before the end of the phrase, but she actually removed a breath and sang a longer phrase much more comfortably and beautifully than the original one she ran out of breath in the first place. And you can see me. I'm running around and dancing and gesturing like crazy to make sure that even though she knows that the breaths are peaceful and released, that when she's in the phrase, she keeps moving the energy of the phrase forward so that she doesn't lose momentum and stagnate in her support. The main thing I want you to take away from this video is that if you're having trouble sustaining a phrase to the end without running out of breath, back up. Check in with yourself and check in with your breath earlier on in the song. Odds are it's something going on then that's sabotaging your ability to do the longer phrase once you get to it. If you can address the issues leading up to the long phrase, odds are you'll be able to sing the longer phrase without any problem at all. If you have a question or a comment about how this technique might work in your own singing, please post below.
And while you're here, be sure to sign up for email updates to become a member of my virtual voice studio. You'll get instant access to a powerful video training called Be a More Consistent Singer, and you'll get first dibs on singing workshops and masterclasses, as well as access to studio member-only tips, tools, and insights I don't share anywhere else.
Remember, your voice is a unique gift that the world is just waiting to receive. I'm Arden Kaywin. I'll see you next time.